Imagine you are standing in front of a giant, beautiful castle that has more rooms than you could ever count. This castle is called Sandringham, and it is where the most famous royal family in the whole world goes to rest. Usually it is a very quiet place with big green trees and soft grass, but today something is very wrong. There is a huge fight happening, and it is not the kind of fight where people shout and scream. It is a quiet, scary fight that involves secret papers, heavy metal doors, and a mystery box that has been locked for a very long time. Two very powerful women, Queen Camilla and Princess Anne, are at war. One wants to keep things hidden and the other wants to bring the truth out into the light. The king is sitting in his room, not knowing what to do, while helicopters fly overhead and lawyers in black cars drive through the gates. This is a story about a family that is breaking apart, and it all started with a secret that was left behind by the late Queen Elizabeth. If you think your family has drama during the holidays, wait until you hear about what is happening inside these castle walls right now. It is a battle for the history of the crown, and by the end of this day, everything might change forever for the British monarchy. I have always felt that if you push people too hard, they will eventually push back just as hard. It is like when you push a swing, it always comes back toward you. This is exactly what we are seeing happen with the royal family right now. They did not take good care of nature and the world around them because they did not understand how much we need the earth to stay healthy. Because they were not careful, nature is now pushing back, and things are becoming very difficult. It is a big lesson that everyone needs to learn. If you do not respect the things you depend on, those things will eventually cause problems for you. Now, the family is facing the consequences of their actions, and it is causing a lot of trouble inside the palace. Early this morning at 15 minutes past 10, the giant metal gates of the Sandringham estate swung open. Usually when those gates open, a very fancy car with a royal flag and police officers on motorcycles drives through, but today was different. A plain black car called a Jaguar drove onto the gravel path. It did not have any special flags on it. It did not have any loud sirens or guards. Inside the car was a very serious man who works for a big law firm called Faraher Company. He was holding a thick folder full of papers that had a secret code on it, SR 2026, and he walked up to the big house and stepped onto the small gray stones of the north wing. He looked like he was on a very important mission that was going to change everything for the people living inside. In just a few minutes, something amazing happened. A special legal sticker was put on the big, heavy wooden doors of the house. This sticker meant that no one was allowed to go inside. At that exact moment, Queen Camilla was inside making plans. She wanted to stay in those rooms for 60 days during the summer so she could relax and enjoy the sun. But suddenly she found out she was locked out. The law said she could not go back in, and she could not change her mind. It was not King Charles who locked her out, and it was not the palace guards. It was the king's own sister, Princess Anne. Anne had used the law to stop the queen from entering the rooms she wanted to use. Princess Anne did something very smart and very fast. She used a special legal trick that people in the royal family haven't seen in a very long time. It was like a perfectly planned move in a game of chess. She did not do this just because she was angry about who got to stay in which bedroom. There was a much bigger reason for her actions. Inside the thick folder of papers the lawyer brought, there was a note about an old metal box called a safe. This safe is from a long time ago, the 19th century, and it is hidden in a room that has been sealed shut. Inside that safe are private letters written by the late Queen Elizabeth. Some very powerful people want to see those letters, but other people want to burn them so no one ever reads them. This is not just a simple story about a guest room in a big house. It is a story about who has the most power and what the royal family will leave behind for the future. The monarchy is like a big team that is now fighting against itself. Everyone is taking sides and the fight is getting very serious. Everything I am telling you is happening right now today. The story is still going on and things are changing every hour. To understand why this morning was so crazy at Sandringham, we have to look back at what happened just a few days ago. There was a very tense meeting that started this whole mess, and it happened in a place where the family usually goes to be quiet and private. 6 days ago, there was a meeting at a place called Highgrove. There's a special tea room there that is very secret. It is a place where the family talks about things they don't want the world to know. On the afternoon of March 5th, the air in that room felt very heavy and uncomfortable. Princess Anne asked to talk to Queen Camilla alone. As soon as they started talking, it was clear that they were not going to be friendly. A worker who was standing in the hallway outside said it was the most nervous he had ever felt in 30 years of working for the royals. Anne's voice was very quiet and very serious. She had been thinking about what to say for a long time, and she was finally ready to say it. She wanted to talk about her brother, Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew has been having a very hard time lately. On his 66th birthday in February, he was arrested at a place called Wood Farm on the Sandringham land. Because of this, he had to move out of his big home in Windsor and go live at Sandringham. He has lost all of his special honors and titles. The police are asking him a lot of questions, and he feels very alone. People who know him say he is very sad and worried about his life. Princess Anne has been watching all of this happen, and it makes her feel both very sad and very angry. She feels like the rest of the family is trying to stay away from Andrew and act like he isn't there anymore. Anne has been watching her brother, the king, stay quiet and not say anything to help Andrew. She has also been watching Queen Camilla move into the best parts of the house and make herself very comfortable. Anne feels like Camilla is taking over while Andrew is suffering in a dark shadow. In that tea room 6 days ago, Anne decided she had seen enough. She looked at Camilla and said something very tough. She told the queen that if her brother Andrew cannot have a safe place to stay, then the queen's comfort at Sandringham is not important anymore. Camilla did not act scared. She told Anne that she is the queen and that there are rules about who is more important, but Anne did not care about those rules. Princess Anne told Camilla that having a safe place to live is something you earn by being loyal to the family, not something you get just because you have a high rank. After that big argument, Anne's lawyers started working day and night. They did not stop for even a minute. They were building a legal wall around the house to stop the queen. This was not a last-minute plan. It was something they had been preparing very carefully for a few weeks. They used a very old law that says if someone uses a part of a house for a very long time, they have a right to keep using it. This is how Anne was able to lock the doors and keep everyone else out. Anne's lawyers went to a place called the Land Registry to show their papers. They argued that Princess Anne and her workers have been using the north wing of Sandringham almost every year since 1990. That is 36 years of using those rooms. The lawyers had a giant list of every time Anne stayed there, every meeting she had, and every person who saw her there. Because they had so much proof, they were able to say that the rooms cannot be changed or given to someone else without the whole family agreeing. This meant that the people who managed the estate or even the queen herself could not tell Anne to leave. It was a very clever way to use the law to win an argument. When this happened, the people working at Sandringham were very confused and worried. The man in charge of the house was told that he had to give all the keys to the north wing to Anne's lawyers. When Queen Camilla's office called to ask what was going on, the lawyers only said one thing. They said that Princess Anne is using her legal rights and that no one is.